Salute, salute Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing. Welcome in to another live stream tonight. We're going to chop up the latest with the chat. Salute to the chat. Salute Replay Squad. The Knicks at Boston to open the NBA season tonight. We're going to talk about that matchup as well. We're going to go player versus player and team versus team in the stats category and look at what could be the Eastern Conference Finals matchup early in the season to open the NBA season. Man, the NBA cooked with this one. Also today was revealed that the NBA Cup schedule, the pool games, the draw is out. We'll go through that as well, fam. And as well as some other scheduling news, preseason action as well. We'll do some Q&A tonight and prepare for the NBA season ahead. Guys, how we feeling? Or shout out to the squad. Great to be with you. As always, live stream tonight, and I hope you're doing well. And I'm excited, right? The NBA absolutely cooked with this schedule to start the NBA season, man. If you weren't any more hype, man, I'm even more hype when this came out. Remember last show we talked about the Christmas Day game with the Spurs coming to the Knicks at MSG, and that was a surprise, you know. That was like, you know, it took some time to look into it and look like that, you know, the NBA is trying to boost the Spurs and Wemby and feel like they're coming up, but it really wasn't that ideal matchup that people were expecting. But they had something in mind, man. They had bigger plans, and that was the Knicks Boston to start the NBA season, and it's going to be amazing. Ring ceremony night, right? The Knicks are going to spoil the party on that one. And like I said, we'll go through individually, player versus player in the starting lineups as well. And we'll talk about the edge that the Knicks, I feel, could have with the bench unit as well. Because, you know, the new look Knicks are coming in with their updated starting unit, right? But Boston are going to be coming back with, you know, the pretty much the same starting unit as well. And we'll look at, you know, how their bench might differ to the Knicks as well. But we know preseason as well starts on October 6, 7 p.m. away to Charlotte. And then 3 home games in a row to Washington, and against Washington mini, and against Charlotte again. And then we conclude preseason away to Washington. That's going to be interesting. Like I said, the NBA Cup was revealed today, and we are in a group with Philly as well. So another rival, and we start our pool games early in the season with that one on Tuesday, November 12. And that is against Philly, right? And then we have Brooklyn, we have Charlotte, and we have the Magic in our group. So the Knicks have got a great chance to get through the group, right? This NBA Cup, you know, it's going to take some time to, you know, for fans to really get into it a little bit more. Obviously, there's only been one, and LA took it. But the Knicks, remember, did get pretty far in that one as well. And then we got knocked out by Milwaukee in that one. So the Knicks are coming back souped up, stronger, better than ever. And we're going to go through that and much, much more. But shout out to the chat. Vaughn, Daniel, what's up, guys? Replay Squad, like I said, shout out. Do us a favor and smash that like button. We've got the streets buzzing. Let us know your thoughts. You know, are you ready for the season to start right now? I am. October 22nd can't come soon enough. And I'm loving the first game to open the season, right? This is the first time the Knicks have opened the NBA season for a very long time. I can't quite remember. Normally our season opener was a day or two after the season began. But now we know things are for real, right? Things are really heating up with this squad we have. And like I said, we're going to go through individually the matchups really, really soon. And we'll get into it. But obviously Christmas Day, that's just another national game that we'll get. After the initial surprise, I'm like, okay, you know, easier matchup, let's take it. We'll get the dub on Christmas Day and then enjoy our dinner after that. But yeah, the new look Spurs, it's going to be CP3, Wemby, Harrison Barnes, and Stephon Castle, the new rookie as well, with that one. There's been no new movements on the roster front and the signings. The Knicks still have one open roster spot available. We wait to see what they do, right? But there's already one camp invite signed, Chuma Okeke. We'll keep you up to speed the moment there's any other changes. I'm expecting Scap and Sev to be one of those camp invites. Maybe Damian Ball, maybe a familiar face, Ryan Arcidiacono. But we do have the $5.2 million exception to spend, and that could be on a player that has value around the league, because that will be tradable salary. So I'm still expecting the New York Knicks to do that. I'm expecting them to add one more veteran, but we'll see. There might not be news coming out at the minute, but the Knicks are always busy. They're always working out. Players, free agency workouts are real. Earlier in the offseason, Ian Begley reported that the Knicks were having a free agent workout at the facility, with the likes of Jarrett Culver, some other names as well. So maybe we are working out some big man free agents. We did have some interest in a Matthias Lasor, who, that was reported by Ian Begley. And that is interesting because he is a guy that is a veteran and experienced as well. Had himself a great Olympics. Another French big man, Yabusele, as well, is being linked to the Cleveland Cavaliers right now, fresh off the Olympics. So we'll see what happens here. The Knicks and him couldn't find common ground with Lasort, but maybe where there's interest, maybe that continues. We'll see. I won't be surprised. The Knicks do have his draft rights, like we said. What's up, Chop Low? Salute. We're about to get into the Boston Knicks matchup, and we'll go through each player and how the Knicks stack up against the team that we need to beat, right? We need to beat to get through to the finals. We need to knock them off, right? To be the best, you got to beat the best, right? And I'm really looking forward to it. I think the New York Knicks have the edge in a number of areas. Continuity is key. Boston's coming back with continuity as well, right? But the Knicks have a new big piece in the starting lineup, and that is an unknown factor, right? As we dive into the matchups now, guys, salute. The biggest unknown is obviously, Boston are coming in with the same starting five, presumably, and the New York Knicks will have Mikal Bridges, right, as part of their starting five. And we'll also have Julius Randle back, who's healthy. And, it's going to be a case of, integrating Mikal Bridges. These early preseason games are going to be key. And that is going to be a huge time to, to get everybody acclimated and get going, right? So without further ado, we're going to dive into the first key matchup, and that is team versus team, right? And then we'll get into each player. But welcome in. If you're just joining us, salute. Great to have you with us. Smash that like button. We've got the Knicks streets buzzing, right? We'll start with team rankings, right? New York versus Boston, right? Team rankings, right? Net rating is right there. And the New York Knicks were really, really consistent last season, and there was times when the New York Knicks were second, first in net rating. There was different periods of the schedule that we were rolling. We were the top team in the NBA for a lot of the time. So let's go through these, right? So net ranking, Boston were ranked number 1 in net ranking. In net percentage, they were plus 11, right? 120 points. The New York Knicks came in at 112. We were 5th in net rank in the league. Next up, rebounding. The New York Knicks coming in at number 1, ranked number 1 in rebounding. Boston were 4th in rebounding, right? We welcome back Julius Randle. We didn't have him for most of the season. Josh Hart, though, did really fill in really, really well. And obviously he's one of the best rebounders in the league at his size, especially. Precious really helped out on the boards. Mitchell Robinson, we'll talk about him and his matchup versus KP. But rebounding, people overlook that a lot. I mean, that is the Knicks' key strength. Rebounding, right? A lot of people are looking at the absence of Isaiah Hartenstein. How much are we going to miss him? Right. The biggest area where we will miss him is rebounding, in my opinion. Obviously, he was a demon on the glass, offensive board after offensive board, keeping, second chance points alive, possessions with his hustle, right? But the good thing is, rebounding can be a team effort, and rebounding can be replaced, right? You can replace rebounding. The New York Knicks drafted Ariel Hukporti, right? He's early in his career, right? We're not going to depend on him early. But, for example, his biggest strength is rebounding. So the Knicks want to continue that dominance. They want to look at, bringing in guys that rebound well, right? If you're looking at Nick Richards, Walker Kessler, Clint Capella, all these bigs that the Knicks are linked to, right, must be good rebounders because we're number one in the league and we want to continue. And that just, highlights even further how important Mitchell Robinson is and his health, right? To hold on to that number one spot, the Knicks got to continue to rebound the basketball. What's up, Johnny? Salute, Bing Bong. Can Josh Hart play the 5? Us, Bing Bong. No, that's not an ideal situation. The 4 you can get by, but even then, a lot of people don't want Hart to play the 4 a lot. So we'll see. Get your questions and comments in like we do. We shout you guys out as well. I appreciate your opinions and we give you a voice in this platform. Salute. JaVale McGee, he's not on a team yet. I thought about him as a lot of Knicks fans have as well. But yeah, JaVale, I don't think he suits what the Knicks are looking for right now. We would have done that already. The Knicks do have a trend and they are quite predictable at times. I don't think he's a Tibbs or a Knicks kind of guy, but a lot of people have suggested JaVale McGee, definitely experienced, can protect the rim, but salute guys, salute Johnny, what's up? Going through the advantages, so obviously Boston, man, hell of a starting 5 with scoring, but the Knicks trump them in rebounding, right? Next up, assists. This is where it was the Knicks, you could say, weakness, assist-wise in the league in terms of ranking, coming in at 21st. Boston, with their spread, 5-out look, ball movement, getting to the shooters in the corner. Boston ranked 6th last season in assists, 8th in steals, but the New York Knicks trumped them in steals, with ranked 7th as well. The Knicks were bad in the block category last season. We were last for a lot of the season. We came in at 26th. Boston were first as well. The length of KP, Al Horford, Luke Cornett, Derek White is a good defender as well, getting blocks. Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday. Boston coming in 1 in blocks with that one. Field goals made, 4th. The New York Knicks 11th. Surprising to me, at field goals attempt, the New York Knicks coming in 3rd and Boston coming in 21st, right? And that's going to relate directly to the rebounding, fam. The Knicks play at a very slow pace. So how in the world do they end up 3rd in field goals attempted? Well, it's to get another possession. It's to get the basketball back after you've missed, and then you get another shot up as well. So that's how the New York Knicks at a slow pace can still be ranked 3rd in field goals attempted, and Boston coming in 21st, right? There ain't nothing better than getting a second chance and you get another chance to put the ball in the cup, right? So if you rebound, it don't matter if you shoot a worse percentage than the other team, on some nights anyway. It don't matter if you, with assist-wise as well, because the guy that gets the rebound might just go back up and put it straight back up in as well. And it also pace. You could play at a very slow pace, but still have more possessions than a team that plays fast as well. So what does Tom Thibodeau preach? Why were we good? We took care of the basketball, we rebounded, and we got second chance points with that one. 3-pointers, Boston, man, deadly. First in 3-pointers made, second in 3-pointers attempted. The New York Knicks were 9th in 3-pointers made, and we were 13th, 12th in 3-pointers attempt. So that's pretty good. We know Tom Tibbs loves to get those 3-point attempts up, right? Dare I say they'll be trying to improve on that 12th ranking, right? 3-pointers is king in the league, right? Rebound, if you can't go straight back up, kick it back out to the shooter, right? Let's watch that throughout the season. Do the New York Knicks end up higher than 12th in 3-pointers attempted? I think it's a pretty safe bet. You bring in another shooter into the starting lineup, Mikal Bridges. You know, remember Josh Hart had to play a lot of starting minutes. He's not a shooter. Let's see, you know, hopefully I really want to look at, you know, Julius Randle's return and his 3-point, you know, numbers, his 3-point attempts, because they did come back down from earlier. Salute Jet Life, what's up? Bing Bong says the heart of most teams is the pivot, is the point guard and center. Jericho Sims, not skilled enough to depend upon. I think the bench is more important than a lot of people factor in, especially with the advantages of, you know, an 82 game season, right? The New York Knicks can play Hart starting minutes if they like, Devo starting minutes as well. We're going to get into how the benches line up too. What's up next? We're looking at free throws, right? Free throws made and free throws attempted. Boston were legit, right? And this is where I felt like the Knicks didn't get the whistle. You know, we all talked about it throughout the season, guys. Jalen Brunson getting hacked, getting to the cup. He wasn't respected as much as we felt he should have. He's a All-NBA player now, second team, first-time All-Star. Let's see this year, does Jalen Brunson get a better whistle? Because Boston have got all the names, they've got the reputations, and they get the whistle, right? And I want to talk about Drew Holiday, because defensively he gets a kind whistle, in my opinion. He does foul a bit more than... he gets called for less fouls when he does foul regularly. But Boston getting to the line, right? Brown, Tatum, they're aggressive, you know. So, of course, the more aggressive you are, the more free throws you're going to get. And they were second in the league in free throws attempted, right? I guess the more stars you've got in your starting lineup, you know, the more times you're going to get to the free throw line. But it's interesting. They're a very much 3-point shooting team. They're not a paint presence, right? So why are they second in free throws attempted, right? They don't exactly play bully ball. You know, Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis, they're out on the perimeter. So for Boston to be second in free throws attempted is eyebrow raising for me. And then things look good for the New York Knicks rebounding wise, right? Rebounding offensively first for the New York Knicks. Where's Boston? 20th. 20th, and the O boards and the New York Knicks first coming in. 6th defensively though, and Boston a second, right? Turnovers, the New York Knicks can do a better job, coming in at 17, and Boston coming in at 12th, right? And personal fouls, 8th for Boston and 5th for the New York Knicks. Guys did a better job not fouling, but turnovers, we do have to clean that up. You know, 17th is not great at all. Salute Paula and Jet Life, what's up, guys? Johnny says a full season of healthy Knicks 3-point shooters can be top 5 in the league. Yeah, definitely, you said it, Johnny. Mikal Bridges coming into the starting 5, and, you know, Randle back, who's a 3-point shooting threat. More snipers off our bench with DiVincenzo coming off your bench now. Key to Bates-Diop is one to look out for as well. He had, the season prior to last, he had 39% from 3 as well. If Keita Bates-Diop gets some minutes at the 4, I think that'll be good for the Knicks offense, you know, and getting those shots up. Vaughn says, one guy I'm paying close attention to in the matchup is Peyton Pritchard. He's really becoming a pain. Yeah, a demon. Definitely, man. He's coming into his own, man. I think he's going to be the next TJ McConnell. Well, he's better than him, I think, offensively as well. So we know what we're up against, and we definitely, you can't not respect the reigning champions, but at the same time, healthy respect, but we can knock them off. Definitely, we can knock them off, right? Ranked, we were 36% three-point shooting percentage, right? They were 38%, right? Net rating, 11.6, they were first. Net rating, the New York Knicks are fifth on that one. So that's how the teams stack up, fam. We now know the advantages of Boston statistically, where the New York Knicks can get that edge, right? Now let's dive into the first matchup. Player versus player. Where should we start? Definitely start at the point guard, and we'll work our way up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how we do. So let's go through it. We've got Drew Holiday, right? All defensive player versus your Jalen Brunson, captain, first time All-NBA, second team, first time All-Star, right? Early edge with Brunson, games played. Durability is key, right? Your best ability is your availability. Brunson played 77 games. Drew Holiday played 69. Right? Minutes, JB, 35 minutes. Drew, 32. Points per game, not even a conversation. Drew Holiday is, not the offensive star on his team, but he come in at 12 points per game, 12.5. JB coming in at 28.7, right? Do I expect Brunson's scoring to go down a little bit? Yeah, I think super high usage last season. We don't want to wear him down. We don't want to wear him out. And in terms of isolation ball, we've got more options. Mikal Bridges is into the starting five, and we definitely need the rock being shared a lot more. But the good thing is, we know what he's capable of doing now. He can literally be a one-man wrecking crew, and he can put the team on his back, right, when needed, especially clutch, takeover. 28 points, right? Rebounding, Drew Holiday with the advantage, 5.4 boards, and JB 3.6. But the assists, Jalen Brunson 6.7, Drew Holiday 4.8, right? So Brunson obviously got the ball in his hands a bit more, and definitely though, but assists, right? For a lot of people that don't pay the kind of respect that they should with Brunson's game, 6.7 assists is very solid. Obviously, no doubt, I think that could go up. Guys, I think the scoring might go down a little for Brunson, but the assists are probably going to go up. Too. Paula says we have more options. We don't have to do it alone. Yeah, he don't have to do it alone. Absolutely. Johnny says, CT, what matchups versus Boston do you see on D? It's definitely going to be the wings. OG versus Brown, which we'll get to. Mikal Bridges versus Derek White as well. And then, of course, Julius Randle versus Tatum. Salute J Boogie. This is the year we got to perform on the Christmas stage, the anthem in the garden. We back on Christmas, 12 noon. Definitely J Boogie. I gave you a shout out last show, and that anthem is going to be buzzing all over this platform, many platforms, and MSG on Christmas Day. Let's get it. San Antonio, surprise, but I think it's going to be an easier dub. That one as well. We've got Philly on the NBA Cup stage, right? First up, that one on November 12, right? 7:30 p.m. tip. That one is at Philly as well. So we'll head to the Els Fargo and get that win, just like we did in the playoffs. Salute J Boog. Back to Brunson and Drew Holiday, right? Let us know your thoughts on these matchups, right? I'd love to get your input. Field goal percentages attempted, a lot higher for Brunson in terms of attempts. About the same field goal percentage, about 48% from both. 3-pointers made, Brunson higher, 2.7. 3-pointers attempted higher, obviously as well. 3-point percentage, both 40-ish, 42, 41 for Brunson. 42.9 for Drew Holiday on less attempts, though. Like I said, the Boston spread ball movement. He is a deadly shooter, Drew Holiday, because most of his looks come in a wide open catch and shoot as well. He's not kind of a pull up off the dribble with a defender in his face. That's not what Drew Holiday does, right? He passes the ball around. Tatum or Brown will kick it back out. He'll get those open looks. Whereas a lot of Brunson's pull up, a lot of his 3-pointers are pull ups, contested, hand in his face, and all of that. A chewer on Drew Holiday says Bing Bong. Switchable. G Robinson, what's up? Jason and Jalen and KP all average over 20. So we need Bridges to be in our third 20-point per game scorer. Yep. He'll get great looks, I think. With Brunson kicking it out, drive and kick. Julius will get a lot of assists as well. This is the first matchup. We're going to go to the 2 guard, the 3 guard, the 4, and the 5 guys. So rock out with us. But head-to-head, Brunson, it's no conversation. Scoring, dominant versus this matchup. Points, free throw percentage the same. Free throws attempted, though. Brunson a lot higher. Obviously, he gets to the cup, and he gets those foul calls a little bit more than Drew. Assists, Brunson racked up more assists, more steals. Drew with more blocks. Brunson with more turnovers. But obviously the usage is higher for Brunson, right? Now, plus minus, to recap this matchup, Brunson coming in at plus 512 for the season, and Drew Holiday plus 427. So, big time impact for Jalen Brunson in this one. More games played, that stands out to me. Mr. Durability, 77 games. More assists as well. The ball in his hands, a lot more. So, advantage New York Knicks. Now, next up, the new wing, your new starting shooting guard, Mikal Bridges, going up against Derek White. Man, a guy who got a lot of shine this season, earned a Team USA spot. Derek White, right? A lot of GMs, executives, pundits, media are looking at Derek White as, one of the premier wings in the league, one of the premier shooting guards in the league on both sides of the ball. What a great matchup, going up against arguably a better two-way wing, a better two-way player in Mikal Bridges, coming off a downer year, but with a bad team in Brooklyn. Now he's going to come in max focus, right? Right off the rip. Games played, 82. Mr. Durability, Mikal Bridges, man. That's what we pay for. Guy plays every single game, right? I love that. And obviously, 82-game season. If he plays in all 82 again, that's going to bode well for the New York Knicks win and loss and our chances to get that number 1 seed. G says Dante and OG should average as much as White and Holiday. Yep, spread ball movement. Hopefully we get these guys open looks. I know they will. Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle are willing passers as well. We need to play really unselfish this season. Bing Bong says Randle and OG played so well together. They had me pumped. Yeah, I think chemistry is going to be off the chain for this season, right? These guys are super focused. So minutes were very similar, but Mikal had more minutes. Points, 15 for Derek White, 19.5, 19.6 for Mikal Bridges. So more points once again. Brunson with more points than Drew Holiday. Mikal Bridges coming in with more points from last season. But obviously he was the focus for the Nets. Next up, rebounds, slight edge to Bridges. Assists, Derek White with 5.2. He gets that one. Blocks, like I said, Derek White is very solid with blocks, coming in at 1.2. Mikal Bridges could really, that's an area of his game where he could really elevate. Blocks per game, right? 0.4. A guy of his length, his size, that should be closer to 0.8. One block per game, right? Especially when you're playing every single game. Let me know what you guys think. Should Mikal Bridges be getting those blocks up? Remember, we were one of the worst block teams in the season last year as well. I know Tibbs will be loving to get those steals and blocks up. More possessions, more defensive stops with that one as well. But salute, guys. I love the comments. Keep it coming. We've got the streets buzzing. Smash that like button. Field goals attempted. More usage for Bridges for that one. Percentage, though, coming in at 43%. It was a downer year for him percentage-wise. Derek White is efficient, coming in at 46%. Three-pointers attempted. Bridges got up 7.2 attempts, and still shot it at 37. So that's great. High usage, high attempts, and still a very good percentage, close to 38. But like I said, Derek White, also a very good year, 6.8 attempts from 3 and 39% from deep as well. Yeah, with Tyler Colette, guys, we'll see how things look in preseason. I don't want to put any ceiling on any of our guys, but also don't want to expect them to get more minutes than what they might, because we are really stacked as well. Guys are going to have to buy their time and earn their minutes. But yeah, I'm excited. I think the depth of this squad, there could be a lot of surprises, this season in terms of guys, with the, situational categories. McCullough, campaign is experience, we know. Jericho might come into this year more rounded. And we've got Ariel Huckporty as well, Daddy A. Westchester's going to be fun. It really is going to be fun this season, Westchester. And I'm going to have my eyes glued to that one, as well as pre-season. Defensively, Bridges with the rebounding, the edge, points, edge as well. But Derek White with the blocks and the less turnovers with less usage. Obviously, the plus-minus is hugely askew because Derek White was on the winning team. Mikal Bridges was on the bad team in Brooklyn, right? But what do we take from that, guys? The first two positions we've gone through now, we have the edge in points as well. Let's keep it rolling. We have the edge in the points, also the rebounding, that is the Knicks' edge. Boston have the edge in the assists, less turnovers, and a slightly better percentage from 3 and from deep in this one. Right. And then now we get to the wing spot, the 3 spot. OG Anunoby extended, right, for 5 years. Huge $212 million deal, going up against one of the highest paid players in the league as well. Jaylen Brown is going to have a chip on his shoulder, man. He got snubbed, he felt, from Team USA. Here we go. Games played. Obviously, OG Anunoby, huge concern in terms of games played. 50 games played last season, right? Can he buck the trend? Can we get to a situation where OG can have at least multiple years consecutively of 65 plus games? Let's hope. Obviously, he's the role guy at the minute. Jaylen Brown is one of their co-stars or stars. Points per game is a difference with Boston's edge. Rebounding, very similar, 5.5 to Brown, 4.2 for Bridges, for OG. Assists, very similar, 3.6 for Brown, 2.1 for OG. So, look, when OG gets the ball, it's usually a kick out or it's later in the clock. So his assists aren't going to be very high. He needs to score. He needs to look to be aggressive. So I'm not expecting OG's assists to get up, right? Like I said, when he gets the ball, it's usually in a really good position and he needs to fire away. Whereas Jaylen Brown, he initiates the offense a lot. So his assists are going to be a lot higher, right? But field goals attempted, more field goals for Brown, field goals made, obviously off more attempts, more makes, right? But the field goal percentage, look at the efficiency from OG, right? Like 6 less attempts. And the field goal percentage, 49, 48%, basically the same. So OG, very efficient with minimal shots. The 3-pointers made, 2.1 for Brown, 2 for OG. So that's basically the same. And 3-pointers attempted, 5.9 Brown, 5.3 OG. Slightly less attempts, but just as efficient, right? Free throws, OG coming in at 1.8 attempts, Brown 4.3. So that is a case of Brown having more usage but being aggressive as well, right? Rebounding with more minutes, more games played, Brown with more rebounds, points, assists, steals, blocks, totals as well. But less turnovers for OG and less fouls, right? Plus minus, very, very similar, fam. And this is where we get into the future. Right? I want to talk about a little bit about OG for a full season, right? Because we only had OG for a cup of coffee. And look at the plus minus, right? Basically, OG was the plus minus king for the amount of time that he played. Brown is plus 413 on the season. OG plus 390 in the plus minus, right? That's very close. Considering Brown played 20 more games, the plus minus is basically the same, right? So if OG plays 20 more games, based on the rate the Knicks were winning, based on the rate the Knicks were outscoring their opponents, plus minus wise, OG, if the games were the same, OG would be higher, would be higher in the plus minus. And Del Mar's in the building. Salute to you, shout out. OG will be the difference in the long run. When he's healthy, you said it. You stole the words out of my mouth. That was what I was trying to say in terms of now we're really looking into the future of how, the Knicks can get that edge against Boston, right? Brown is their first or second best player, and he's going to have more points, more attempts than OG. But where you really look deeper into the weeds, OG is like the third or fourth option offensively for the Knicks. He's just as efficient as Jaylen Brown on less attempts. Plus minus can be higher. So that's showing that the New York Knicks have more options of, being deeper and, the ability to outwork Boston in numbers, right? So yeah, that is interesting. Now let's move to the 4. We've got Julius Randle returning, right? Played 46 games to Tatum is 74, right? Minutes, very similar. Points, very similar as well. 24 for Jew, 26.9 for Tatum. Rebounds, Julius Randle with the edge, 9.2 rebounds, right? We miss Julius on the glass, guys. That hasn't been spoken about enough. A lot of people talk about Julius's points, his, isolation game, basically holding the ball up on offense. A lot of people talk about that, but Not as many people talk about Julius Randle's rebounding, right? Based on 35 minutes a game, he almost gets you 10 rebounds. Now, when we're losing Isaiah, we've got to find ways to make up for that, And how do we do that? Gang rebound, and also it helps to bring back, a 3-time All-Star. That's a double threat, on the glass, 9.2 boards, right? Also the edge to Julius on the assists, 5 assists last season to Tatum's 4.9. So is Tatum more of a black hole? Considering Boston has so many options, like I said, the kick-out shooters, the cutters in Derek White, Brown, and Drew. Julius Randle had more assists last season than Tatum, or averaged more assists, right? But yes, he did play 28 games, 28 games less. Bing Bong says OG needs to take multivitamins. Take it to keep him on the court. Just off that, the New York Knicks did add Casey Smith to the medical staff. Sorry, Casey Smith is really, really respected around the NBA. This is a guy who has been in Dallas for a long time, and he's been able to help those guys stay healthy. So the Knicks are adding talent at all costs, and beefing up the coaching, the medical staff as well. That's going to be key, right? Hopefully we can get 65, 70 games out of OG. That'll be big. We have a real chance to finish higher than Boston, guys. I really think the Knicks could win 55. As I alluded to with the OG Brown matchup, the New York Knicks were at a higher winning percentage than Boston when OG was playing, right? A lot of people don't notice that. OG was 20. We were, as a team, we were 26 and we were 25-6 with OG playing, fam, and that is at a higher winning percentage than what Boston had. So look out for that. Field goal percentage, Julius Randle was slightly higher as well, 47.2%. That is very efficient. Randle was having a really good season before he went down. A lot of people forget that, right? A lot of people forget that, but Julius Randle was shooting nearly 50% from the field in his 46 games, right? Where his numbers dipped was the 3, right? And then this is interesting, 31% from 3, right? The attempts came down, but still 1.7 makes off 5.3 attempts from deep. From Julius, that has to get better, right? Julius is a better shooter than that. He has to shoot better than 31.1% from 3, right? We've got more options now. He can obviously get those assists up. Scoring will probably be close to the same, maybe a slightly dip, but the 3-point percentage, right? He should get better looks with more shooters around him, less double teams, and all of that, guys. What do you think? G says, I'd love to see OG work out with Randle in the off-season. Bing Bong says, Randle has improved before he went down. Absolutely agree. Facts. Players can mature and their game can get better through experience as well. Skill set wise, Julius is in his prime. He is what he is skill set wise. But players improve as they get older because maturity, they read the game better. All of those things that analytics don't count, right? Analytics that we're looking at and stats count for the numbers, and the shooting percentages and all of that. But there's no way to quantify really your processing of the game, reading of the game, making quicker decisions, passing the ball out of the double team faster, making the skip pass, all of that, knowing when to cut when you're off the ball, right? It makes a hell of a difference, right? Let's say Brunson or Bridges is going isolation on the perimeter, right? Usually Julius Randle, and this isn't a knock on him, but just is what it is. He is a player that usually stands still. He stands still and he watches, he ball watches, and he teammate watches sometimes, right? what can get Julius some easier buckets as well is if he cuts, he moves off the ball more frequently. Because, like I said, if OG's going ISO, on his possession, let's say the shot clock's going down, Brunson's, doing his thing, so with DiVincenzo or whoever it is, usually Julius Randle and his opponent is too mindful of what's going on, and Julius can cut backdoor, or he can, run to the block and get a great position in the post up as well. All those things we need engagement, constant movement, constant ball movement, constant engagement, and I think our offense can be better than Boston's. I think if you look at it, and we're going each matchup individually in the starting five, guys, salute, but punch versus punch, the Knicks starting five can beat Boston's. It can outscore them. It can be efficient, and basically rebounding, Julius has the edge. He has the edge assists as well. Tatum is an isolation guy, but Julius is stronger. Julius gets the same treatment. He'll get double teamed. How is his decision making? How is his 3-point shooting percentage going to be? How is his decision making, assists and that? That's going to really, dictate how strong the team can be. Gerard says Brunson has to give the ball up sooner than not after 15 dribbles. Yeah, that will change. Things will get more fluid. I think our offense this season, guys, will be more fluid because of the ball movement, the options that we'll have with Bridges now. Julian Blum says, "Oh yeah, this matchup going to be epic." Salute CT in chat. Bing Bong says Brunson don't got to score 40 a game now. He has massive help with Randle and Bridges in the lineup, 100%. Johnny says if Randle plays to his strengths, he is one of the best one-on-one players in the league. Decent passer and shooting and rhythm, his continuity is important. Under Tibbs and Captain Brunson, he'll find his place. He was watching, man. He was watching the team go on a crazy run. He was watching to see how he can, come in and make this team more stronger. Definitely. Very prideful guy is Julius. People overlook his bounce back when he first came to the Knicks. He took his game to the next level. Like you guys said, it was a very impressive run in 46 games played. The rebounding is the biggest thing we missed, in my opinion, as well. 9.2 boards per game. Offensively, 2.2 offensive rebounds. That's huge. Tatum only gives them 0.9. So basically, assuming Julius gets those 2.2 offensive rebounds, that could be extra 1 or 2 extra buckets just from Julius Randle's offensive rebounding. Minutes wise, Julius was less, obviously less games, less turnovers from Julius with less games, less fouls, right? Plus minus, yeah, can't read into that because of the discrepancy in the games played as well. But we're looking at the percentages. Julius was higher from the field, a lot lower from three than Tatum. He had more assists, though, per game than Tatum. But obviously, if he played more games, maybe that average would have been down a little bit more, or maybe it would have been higher. Now that we've got these options, like you guys said, I think Julius's assist numbers are going to go up even more, fam. And then, to round out the starting five, guys, the starting New York Knicks center right now, Mitchell Robinson. Now, Isaiah, he's left us, man. He's over in OKC, right? We're going to make up for his absence as a team, right? We're going to gang rebound and defend as a team and get these extra possessions, right? Obviously, we know the tale of this tape with KP, scoring, shooting from three, everything is higher. But rebounding, Mitchell Robinson wins 8.5 rebounds. Steals, Mitchell Robinson wins 1.2 steals to KP's 0.7. Field goal percentage, Mitchie's higher, obviously around the rim. no 3-point attempt last season at all. Nothing. Not even one 3-point attempt for the whole season from Mitch. Not even a heave. Obviously, that's no surprise. But offensive rebounding, huge discrepancy. KP with 1.7. Mitchell Robinson coming in at 4.6. Right? Almost 5 offensive rebounds a game. Right? But in 31 games played. So that is the glaring discrepancy for both sides, right? Huge offensive rebounding advantage for Mitch. 31 games played. Guys, that is hopefully something that doesn't continue. Prayers up and hopefully a healthy season for Mitchie, right? Because when he's healthy, offensive rebounding, he is a huge advantage for us as a team. Efficient around the basket as well. Less turnovers, less fouls than KP. But offensive rebounding. Defensively, edge goes to Kristaps. But Mitchie probably would have got those numbers up if he played more than 31 minutes defensively. He also had a lot of teammates that gang rebound, Randle, Josh Hart. A lot of our guards rebound really well. DiVincenzo, does get a lot of rebounds as well. So that is the 5v5 matchup. Your New York Knicks against the Boston Celtics. Opening night for the NBA season. Man, this has got me more hyped. I'm ready for this matchup. Just to take another look at the teams again. The New York Knicks were basically the number 1 rated team in January. 3-point shooting percentage as a team. Slight edge to Boston. Rebounding. Huge advantage to the New York Knicks, number 1. Blocks, huge advantage for Boston. But basically turnovers, very similar. Boston were 12th in turnovers, we were 17. Right, so taking care of the ball. Second chance points is key for the New York Knicks. Does Mitchell Robinson need to lose some weight? Like you guys said, I think that could help him. Anything that might help him be more durable. We'll see. Knicks 25 champ says Randle played his best basketball the last 2 weeks before the injury as well. He was really getting into a groove. He was fitting well with OG. Right. Also, guys, don't discount the Knicks to go with Randle, OG at the 4 or 5. 2 guys that are really mobile for their size, but also strong rebounders. So OG can protect the rim better. But those 2, not for a full game, not even for half a game. But I think, dependent on the health of Mitch and how Precious looks and what else the Knicks do with the big man spot, the Knicks can definitely play Julius at the 4, OG at the 5, or vice versa, for stretches of the game. And get a real advantage, right? It could be a real advantage, guys. So keep an open mind about that. We obviously don't want either playing at the 5 a lot because it's going to be taxing on their bodies. It's going to be, a grind. But if we're talking maybe, 10 minutes a game, if we're talking 7 minutes a game, 13 minutes a game, that's a 5-out look. That's a dynamic offense. Like I said, of guys that can rebound well enough that you're not really hurting too much without the big man, but you can also have a 5-out lineup. Think of a Brunson, DiVincenzo, Bridges, Randle, OG lineup. Right, that's dynamic. That's 5 out, and that could be a look that takes Boston down. Right, when we're trying to take Boston down, we're trying to win. We're trying to win the East, right? And this matchup is going to be a lot more even than people think, like we went across, right? Don't discount the fact that Kristaps Porzingis can't stay healthy as well. Can Kristaps Porzingis stay healthy, right? Everyone wants to talk about Mitch, OG and that, right? KP doesn't get through a full season, right? He only came back in the nick of time. Right, Boston might have had a lot more problems if KP wasn't healthy, because he was a star in game 1 of the finals, game 2. He was a real difference. When he's not in the Boston lineup, they're a completely different team. They're a lot more vulnerable. So, what do you say to that? Bob, what's up? Says, can't wait. Julius wasn't there last playoffs and we got a trump card. We have 3 players in the finals, 2 championships. This crew's 57 wins and Eastern Conference Finals is a success. Yep. I think continuity is going to be big for this squad. You know, Bridges is new, but when you're factoring in that he knows the guys, I mean, you know, he played against the Knicks 4 times. He knows the system now. You know, he's really close to OG. Those guys have a friendship, a chemistry as well. Julius has played, you know, a couple seasons now with Brunson. He's been with Mitch a lot. And he had that stretch with OG as well. So that's important. If Randle never played any minutes with OG, it would be a new acclimation period. But Randle played minutes with OG. So basically, preseason is going to be a case of, getting Mikal going with this lineup, but also the bench. Yeah, the tough thing with Mitch and the conditioning is when he's constantly injured and he has to come back and then he gets injured and he has to work his way back, you are out of shape a little bit, you know, especially with these leg injuries. Bob says also Mitch could be our Jonathan Isaac with 20 minutes of lockdown D and is healthy for the season. You know, easing his minutes. That's a whole show we'll do, you know, conversation previewing this season now, guys, is that, you know, the fact that we have all these weapons, but we need to make sure that they're healthy for when we need them. Talking about OG, especially Randle and especially Mitchell Robinson. Those guys are the X factors, the wild cards, everything. Johnny says half of Randle's looks and roll should be kickouts to the perimeter shooters we got plenty of. Yeah, I think he's going to be better at reading the game with these options. See, Julius took a lot of shots when, you know, early in his Knicks career because he was the best offensive player on the team. A lot of people want to forget that, right? When good players play with also good players, they definitely buy in a lot more, you know, and that's also, you know, extending beyond Randle. That's everybody in the league, right? When you have more teammates that you respect, you know, you are going to be more open, you know, to moving it around because you know you don't have to score every single time, you know, and then the New York Knicks have guys in the starting 5, right, that, champions, you know, OG Anunoby's won a championship. Dante last season was starting. He's won a championship. Delmar says the Knicks need to take the Elite Cup game seriously for the goal being achieved towards a championship. Yeah, these cup games, you know, let's talk a little bit about that now. Thanks for reminding me. And that is against Philly, Brooklyn, the Hornets, and the Magic. So we'll definitely beat Brooklyn, definitely beat Charlotte. We'll definitely beat Magic, in my opinion. Philly is at Philly. That's a cup game as well. So we could finish top of the group. We could finish top or we could get second and advance. I think as long as we beat the other 3 teams, we will advance in this thing. Now, you might care about the cup itself or you might not care. But the reason you should care is because, yeah, these are regular season games. So if you want to finish with a higher win total and you want to make the number 1 seed, you want to win every game, right? Regardless of this cup. The good thing is with this cup, the group games are regular season games, so it's nothing extra. It's basically, you know, the knockout phase is when they're extra games, and that even then that's only 3. That's only 3 extra games from the quarterfinals after the group game. So we do have the extra depth now, so that's going to be a big factor in that. like I said, pre-season. We're going to use this opportunity to, to see what guys have got. October 6 against Charlotte. Wizards, October 9. We could play around with some minutes in that one. Let guys get into their rhythm. And then Mini will start to ramp things up, I think. Minnesota and then Charlotte and then Wizards again to finish the preseason. We've got 5 games this time as well. So defensively, how do you think we're going to do? Offensively, right? More assists. I think we'll shoot a better percentage from 3. I'd love to get our blocks up. I think we will continue to play at a slower pace, though. Buzzer Beaters always talked about how can we get our pace up. I think it's a matter of staying true to our identity. I think we have the personnel to play a slower type game. But, with the bench lineup, guys, we should be playing faster in that, right? Precious can get up and down. Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, and Deuce. Now, Nelson says the Knicks game in Philly in the Cup is not going to be an easy game. Yeah, they'll be out for blood. They'll be out for blood in that one, man. But I'm not worried about Philly as much as some because Joel Embiid, a lot rides on his health. It really does. He's not a guy that really plays all of the regular season. He's going to be load managed. He's going to miss some time. And then usually when we get to the postseason, he's already dealing with something, He's dealing with a knee or some soreness or all of that. Right? Paul George is getting up in age as well. So fingers crossed, but could we survive the durability test, right? Boston are pretty good in terms of age range, guys, in terms of the average age. But the New York Knicks are younger than Philly, right? With our starting 5, basically no one's over 30. With our squad, nobody is over 30 with this. So we've looked at how the Knicks match up against Boston, guys. I'm excited. I think the NBA cooked with this one. Not only is it the Knicks season opener, but it is the NBA season opener, right? Ring ceremony, cut straight to the chase. The NBA is not messing around. They know that it's going to be Boston, New York, maybe Philly, maybe a surprise, Indiana or Orlando, or get real competitive or continue to be competitive. But basically this year it's a lot more predictable, I think, in terms of who's going to be at the top of the East. We've talked about how the Knicks matched up against this squad last season, but there's nothing like waiting and seeing until how things look. We've got Mikal Bridges now, a brand new huge piece in the starting 5, and we've got OG for an extended stretch, and we've got Randle back as well, guys. So it is going to be exciting. I'm excited. We'll see how the New York Knicks round out the rest of the roster in terms of that. But NBA cooked with this one. Knicks at Boston, season opener, right? We're going to wrap this thing up. A shorter show tonight. I've got to travel. I'm traveling across country to the West Coast later today, and I'll be away for a couple of weeks, but we'll still be coming on. We'll still be dropping content as well while I'm away. I've got my laptop. But shout out to the chat, shout out Replay Squad as well. Hope you enjoyed the show, breaking down Knicks and Boston, how they match up, right? It's going to be very even. But Randle coming back, man, is a big wild card. Mitch's health and OG's health as well. Let us know your thoughts, guys. Appreciate you as well. Stay well, stay blessed, and I'll be back in another day or so. We'll be live if there's any news come through. We'll wait to see what happens with the rest of the roster, but 9-man rotation, I think, to start. There might be a 10th guy on back-to-backs. Let me know what you think. Do you think 9? Do you think 10? Right now, 9 are penciled in with Precious. If there is a 10th guy, I think it's definitely Bates-Diop. I think Bates-Diop, Tibbs will like him. Defensively, he can shoot it. Or maybe he shuffles the guards down a little bit and he gets in another point guard. He pushes Deuce McBride to the 2, Maybe Kolek looks more ready. Maybe Campaign gets backup minutes early. We know Deuce McBride, can play the 2 as well, right? And I'm excited, man. Definitely loving this squad. And the matchup, Knicks at Boston, right? NBA season opener, October 22nd. Let's get it, fam. Salute to the chat, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace, everyone.